نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونسترضيه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له شهادة عليها نحيا وعليها نموت وبها نبعث إن شاء الله. ونشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا وإمامنا ومعلمنا الخير محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم أرسله الله هاديا وبشيرا، أرسله الله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره الكافرون. حبيب الحق وسيد الخلق، اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله الأطهار وصحابته الأخيار ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين، صلاة ترفعنا بها أعلى الدرجات وتبلغنا بها أقصى الغايات من جميع الخيرات في الحياة ومن بعد الممات. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد، وصل وسلم وبارك على آل سيدنا محمد، وصل وسلم وبارك على أصحاب سيدنا محمد كما صليت وسلمت وباركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. وبعد، يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم واعلموا أن الله مع المتقين. اتقوا ربكم لعلكم تفلحون. We bear witness that there is no God but God, no God but Allah, and we bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the last of his prophets and messengers, came with a message of guidance and mercy to the entire universe, to take people out of darkness to the light of faith, to take people out of crookedness to the straightness of the path, a path that we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to find and stand there firmly till the day of judgment, a path that we ask Him subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable us to path on the day of judgment. يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. A day in which wealth, nor health, nor children will help, except for those who come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with submitted pure hearts and souls and spirits. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to purify our hearts. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to cleanse our hearts. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide our souls and spirits to Him. Allahumma ameen. My dear brothers and sisters, I ask Allah to make this a blessed day, inshallah, to accept our prayers and our gatherings. Make it a gathering on which mercy and blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends. Make it a gathering in which no one leaves broken in their hearts. Make it a gathering in which no one leaves unless they are purified from their sins. Allahumma ameen. My dear brothers and sisters, sometimes it's very easy for someone to stand on these 3 steps and copy and paste. An easy khutbah to be said. It's an easy decision to be made. There are multiple outlets on the internet that are filled with khutbah in all different languages that you can think of. On my desk in the office, about 6 volumes of the great book of the late Dr. Sakr, may Allah have mercy on his soul, filled with khutbah, could be easily memorized and repeated. And on YouTube, there are different khutbahs about different subjects and topics that one can easily watch and stand here before you or any other gathering and just utter the words without knowing what is being said, without meaning what is being said, without reflecting on every word that is being said. Brothers and sisters, it's very easy for an imam, for a khatib, in any place and any time, to just say a few words, to satisfy the need, spiritual or religious need, or sometimes, unfortunately, social need for people to gather on Friday. You know, Karl Marx once said, and unfortunately we're quoting Karl Marx in a khutbah, but we have to. He said once that religion is the drug of the masses. He said that religion is the drug of the masses. Very easily, brothers and sisters, with some good speaking skills, with some good storytelling skills, I can drug everyone every Friday. But unfortunately, the drug's effect will not last for more than an hour. Maybe a couple of hours if I'm a good storyteller. Brothers and sisters, it's very easy for us to do so. But the problem is, after the drug's effect fades, within a couple of hours, you are faced with reality. You are faced with challenges, sometimes cruelties of this world. And you have to act. You have to react. You have to behave. You have to respond. And at this point, at this critical point of the human life, we go back to the things that are most important to us, to our sources of motivation, of inspiration, of encouragement. For some, unfortunately, it's drugs. For others, it's alcohol. For others, it may be family or friends, maybe a hobby or a skill or a habit that we have. But for the faithful, it is religion. It is the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the teachings of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And if the khatib and the imam does not reflect on his words before they are said, does not think his words thoroughly before he utters them, then we are in a great danger, brothers and sisters. Our communities are in great dangers, brothers and sisters. And with this introduction, I would like to start my khutbah. You know, what I said now might sound shocking for some of you, or many of you. But what is going to be said later needed this introduction. Because today I open my heart to you. I open my mind to you. I share bluntly my reflections and my thoughts without any censorship. But first and foremost, thinking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that this is what I mean from my heart, and hoping that it will reach directly to your hearts. First, I would like to share with you a hadith that is narrated in the collection of Imam al-Tirmidhi through the companion named Hudayfa, in which he said, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. And when we hear the word قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, we hear and we pay an attentive ear. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تكونوا إمعة تقولون إن أحسن الناس أحسنا وإن ظلموا ظلمنا ولكن وطنوا أنفسكم إن أحسن الناس أحسنتم وإن أساءوا فلا تظلموا أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. Hudayfa narrates that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, do not let yourselves be yes men. Do not be like a leaf in the wind. You go with the flow. In ahsan an-nas ahsantum. You say, if people are good, we will be good. Wa in asa'u asa'na. And if people are evil, we will be evil. If people act wickedly, we will also act wickedly. وَلَكِنْ وَطِّنُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Be your own self. Make your own story and create your own narrative. وَلَكِنْ وَطِّنُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Make up your mind. Do not let your reality and surroundings and the people around you, no matter good or bad or evil they are, do not let their actions change who you are. Act and behave in accordance to your principles and morals and ideals that should be implanted in you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and by the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Not by mere stories that we tell to be a drug that we get every Friday and feel drugged for an hour or so. No. These are principles that we live and die by. Principles taught to us by the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, revealed for us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلَكِنْ وَطِّنُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Make up your stories and your own minds. In أَحْسَنَ النَّاسُ أَحْسَنْتُمْ. If people behave well, if people are good, if people are charitable, you are good. You are charitable, and you behave well, and you have high morals, and you are posts of light in your communities. وَإِنْ أَسَاءُوا فَلَا تَظْلِمُوا. And if people are wicked and evil and commit injustices around you, فَلَا تَظْلِمُوا. Do not follow on their footsteps. Because we have a much more higher morals to follow. We have a much more honorable footsteps to follow, and these of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that is the hadith I wanted to start with today. In أحسن الناس أحسنتم وإن أساءوا فلا تظلموا. Words to be written in gold, to be inscribed in our masajid, to be memorized by our children, to be taught to our children by the parents in this crowd. In أحسن الناس أحسنتم وإن أساءوا فلا تظلموا. If people are good, you are good because you are good. وَإِنْ أَسَاءُوا فَلَا تَظْلِمُوا. And if people are evil, you do not commit injustices. You do not follow the flow. You don't go with the crowds. And that is the beginning of the khutbah today. Remember these words well, brothers and sisters. Yes, it should trouble us deeply when we hear someone who supposedly at any should be or could be in the future a president of this community that we live in, calls for a ban on Muslims. It is very troubling. It is also very troubling when someone suggests that you test the Muslims in this country, and if they believe in Sharia, they should be deported. It is very troubling when we hear people calling for surveillance on our masajid and safe communities of worship. It's very troubling. But it's also very troubling with two young Muslims, or at least claimed Muslims, walk into a church and slit open the throat of an elderly priest. It is very troubling. It causes us grief, concern, and anxiety inside. But you know, brothers and sisters, to me what is also more troubling than these two things, and you might laugh, but it's more troubling to walk into our restroom and our bathrooms and smell a filthy smell. To walk into our bathrooms and find them dirty. And this is the least word I can use on a Friday khutbah. This is very troubling. And if you think there is no relation between the two things, you are wrong. Because the Prophet ﷺ taught his companions everything, as Salman al-Farisi has said. Salman al-Farisi is a companion who is not even an Arab. And that means nothing. The nationality means nothing. But he went back to his community and he bragged about this new prophet that has taught them everything. And he said he even taught us how to clean ourselves after we relieve ourselves. That is what Salman said, bragging about the new prophet and the new teachings, brothers and sisters. I'm not belittling what is being said about Islam and Muslims. I'm not belittling what is being done by a small fraction of the Muslim communities. But at the same time, we should not belittle our small actions, because they speak volumes about who we are, what our values that we believe and we live by. When we walk into the masjid, what is being done by a small fraction of the Muslim communities. But at the same time, we should not belittle our small actions, because these speak volumes about who we are, what our values that we believe and we live by. When we walk into the masjid and we trample in the shoes that people throw left and right, this speaks volumes about who we are. When we come from a tradition where Muslims has invented the medicine or the science of medicine, and we have physicians in our communities, 10% of the doctors in America are Muslims, and yet we don't find free Muslim clinics to heal the people, at least their physical pains, let alone their spiritual pains. What is really troubling is when our Prophet ﷺ teach us to be mindful of what we eat, when we eat, and the waste. وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا, Allah says in the Quran, do not be wasteful. And Ramadan comes and we create waste upon waste upon waste every day. Do you know that the cups and plates that you use during Ramadan, if they were used during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they would still be polluting our planet today? This is who we are. I'm not speaking about minor issues. I'm speaking about the foundations of this religion. What is more troubling, brothers and sisters, is that when we live in communities where thousands of people go to bed hungry, and we do not have at least once a month a time in which we host people, at least go outside and cook meals for the needy. This is more troubling than someone telling us that he suggests a ban on Muslims. Because what is it that we contribute? Not to this country, not to this city, but to the world. But to the world. We are one of the most educated communities in this country. Yet the question still poses itself. Are we educating others? The Prophet ﷺ made it equal to freedom for Muslims to be educated by war prisoners. You know, if there was a war and Muslims captured war prisoners, we did not treat them with cruelty. We did not waterboard them. We did not kill their families. But we asked them to teach 3 Muslim members of the community, and as a pay for them, and a gratefulness for their actions, they will be free. This is our religion. It's a shame that we have members of our communities who still don't speak English. And we are very educated. We have PhDs, we have physicians, we have engineers. At least once a month volunteer and teach a member of the community how to fill in an application. And if you think this is not an issue, as an imam, I deal with this on a daily basis. People who try to find jobs, but they can't even speak the language. This is more troubling than someone saying that we will test Muslims, and if they believe in Sharia, they will be deported. Because this is Sharia. To be charitable in your community. For 4 years I have been standing here, and I'm sorry if this is hurtful to you, asking you once and after time and time to go out of the masjid, to volunteer, to give back, to build. The young kids in this masjid, they volunteer more than the adults. They give more to the community than the parents. And is this not more troubling to us than someone calling on a ban for Muslims? It is troubling, because the Prophet ﷺ said, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir, falyukrim jarahu. Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir, falyukrim ضيفه. Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir, falyakul khayran aw liyasmut." And the only word we hear from this hadith is the last one. Let him be silent. And the hadith said, he or she who believes in Allah, and the last day, let them honor their neighbors. He or she who believes in Allah and the last day, let them honor their guests. He or she who believes in Allah and the last day, let them speak the truth in their communities. Let them be good people and sources of goodness in their communities. أو يصمت, or at least be silent. But we complain. We complain a lot. But how much do we give? How much do we contribute? And how much do we do? Brothers and sisters, أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العلي العظيم لي ولكم ادعوا الله وأنتم موقنون بالإجابة. Pray to your Lord and have faith that your prayers will be accepted, inshallah. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونسترضيه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. My dear brothers and sisters, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept inshallah our prayers. And please do not feel that I am being angry or mad at anyone specifically. But these are my feelings that I wanted to share with you. After last khutbah, you know, Brother Abu Bakr, who gratefully cleans our masjid every single Friday, he, you know, brought us to the bathroom, and he complained, and this was not the first time for him to complain. And he's an elderly that we should respect and honor, and we should respect and honor his work, but more importantly, we should respect and honor the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So brothers and sisters, this is a call for everyone in this community to take responsibility, and to take responsibility inside of the masjid and outside of the masjid as well. Brothers and sisters, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our prayers. Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammadin fil awwaleen. وصلي وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد في الآخرين وصلي وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد في كل وقت وحين اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. Oh Allah, we ask you to show us the truth and give us and enable us to follow it, and we ask you to show us the falsehood, and we ask you to enable us to avoid it. اللهم اغفر وارحم وتجاوز عما تعلم إنك أنت الأعز الأكرم. We ask Allah to forgive our sins. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shower His mercy upon the people of this community and all the people of the Muslim communities around the world, to relieve the ones who are oppressed and be in the side of the people who are oppressed by their rulers. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to feed the hungry. We ask Allah to make us a tool through which we can, the hungry can be fed. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to relieve the poor and the needy and the oppressed. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وصل اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر.